You're single, you're living in Thailand right now. I mean, how much do you think you could get away living there on Phuket per
If
month?
you if you were one person,
One person and you're like, yeah.
well, I think one person could probably live as low as maybe like 25,000 baht per month.
All right, so today we're heading over to Phuket in Thailand with Louise Henshaw. Louise is from New Zealand, another amazing and beautiful country. She's like living the dream, going from one beautiful country to another. But Phuket, I've never been to Phuket, Louise. I've heard, I've seen the pictures. It is just astonishingly beautiful. How did you tell us a little bit about you and how you guys found your way over to Phuket?
Okay, so firstly, I'll just correct you a little bit on the name. It's Phuket.
Phuket.
Um,
Okay.
Yep. Yes. And what happened is way back in 2006, we made our first trip to Thailand. So we'd mainly, because we were from New Zealand, we'd mainly been to Pacific Islands, Australia, places like that. We'd been to Bali a couple of times. I'd been to Hawaii, places like that.
Mm.
But we had friends that said, let's go to Phuket. And I came and I didn't expect, I was a real Bali lover and I
Mm.
didn't expect to fall in love with Phuket. But honestly, from the first trip that we made, I fell in love with it. It's just got everything on offer. The beaches, the people are beautiful people. The prices are amazing. The resorts are wonderful. Everything you could want is here really, and the weather, of course, it's always warm, and
Yeah.
I'm a real lover of the heat. So yeah, that was a real draw card as well. And yeah, pretty much from there on in, we came to Thailand, I would say at least once every 2 years,
Mm.
um, right up until COVID. And we actually had a planned trip to Koh Samui in Thailand during COVID. That, of course, was cancelled. But yeah, during one of our numerous lockdowns, because New Zealand was the second most lockdown place in the world,
Mm.
decided to run away. And we did run away to Phuket for 4 months and fell in love with it even more while living here. So went back to New Zealand for about 8 months, and couldn't settle back in. So yeah, came back October last year, and here we are.
That's awesome. So what like you've been to all these amazing destinations around Southeast Asia. When you think of like when you say Bali and other locations, but you chose Thailand, Phuket. What is it about Thailand and Phuket that sets itself apart from the others that you found?
Um, for us, I mean, we are traveling with our daughter who is almost 16. So we wanted somewhere that could offer international schools,
Okay.
and that may have other children her age and from other countries, that she was familiar with.
Okay.
We also, when we came over here to live just for 4 months and during COVID, we fell in love with Muay Thai, which is
Yeah.
a martial art that they practice here. We just really fell in love with it. It's very addictive, and that was a real draw card specific to Thailand. And
That's
I don't know.
great.
I mean, it's kind of, you get all the great things about Thailand, the Thai people and the villages and the bartering and a lot of that kind of thing. But if you're used to the comforts of the Western world, Phuket can offer that as well. So it's kind of
Okay.
the best of both worlds, you know. I mean, you can go other places in Thailand which are more probably authentic Thai, but here, you know, especially if you're traveling with children, I think you've got a bit of everything on offer. And you know, we live in a beautiful villa that's, I mean, they call it Balinese style, funnily enough, but yeah, it's more of a like a Western standard rather than a traditional Thai home. And you know, everything we need is here.
Yeah.
And also, I mentioned when I was meeting you before that we actually discovered pickleball as a sport here in Thailand. I mean, you'll know pickleball's the fastest growing sport in the US
Yeah. Yeah.
and around the world actually. And it's amazing, and that's how we've made our social connections here through.
Wow.
So that's been really awesome, and there's a lot of courts and a lot of access to those things that we enjoy. So yeah, those were the draw cards for us.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Not long ago, they just built and put in a couple pickleball courts within walking distance from where I live here.
Oh,
It's
you
like
must.
it's everywhere, man. It's like it's like you said, it's all over the world. So you guys had to get a visa when moving to Phuket. What kind of visa did you get? What were the costs and the requirements to obtain that visa?
So with Thailand, you can obtain a retirement visa if you're 50 years old. And there are criteria like financial criteria. We actually got our visa in New Zealand before we came to Thailand. You can do it that way, or you can obtain it once you're in the country. And there's slightly different criteria for the different paths. The reason that we chose the path that we did is if you get it within Thailand, you have to put 800,000 baht, which I know that equates to about 35,000 New Zealand dollars. So you'll have to do the math on that for
Okay.
US. That has to go into a bank account for 2 months in Thailand to season before you apply for your visa.
Okay.
You then have to leave it in for another 3 months after you get your visa, and then it can only go down to 400,000 baht. So basically, you have this amount of money that has to be in a Thai bank account that's tied up, and you can't use it. You can't go under a certain value, and it's just stuck there doing nothing. Because we obtained our visa in New Zealand, we could prove our funds coming into our bank accounts in New Zealand without having to have the lump sum amount here in Thailand.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we still had to prove a certain amount of income into our New Zealand accounts for the prior year. But yes, we didn't have that need. So we just bring our money in every month as required rather than having that lump sum. Yeah, so there was that. I mean, we had to get a police report, you know, things like that. I can't remember the entire list of paperwork, but it was all pretty stock standard stuff.
What is the amount per month that you have to show that the amount of income that you show per month?
It is 65,000 baht per month.
Each month you got to show that. Is that standard throughout? I mean, for any expat that's interested in moving to
for the retirement
for the retirement visa, 65 baht.
Yeah, 65,000 baht.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that's pretty standard. But because my husband has the retirement visa, I have a visa that basically I'm a dependent of him, and so is my daughter. So we have separate visas, but we don't have to show the financial amount of money. So it's only, you know, it's for the whole family, that amount.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, we actually need more than that to live on. So that's not a problem to show that coming in. So we showed that in New Zealand dollars to obtain the visa. And then if we want to renew it past a year, we have to show that for the prior month. We for the prior 12 months, we've been bringing that into a Thai bank account.
Okay.
So when to renew the visa. Yeah.
Okay, great. So then you guys moved there. You needed to find a rental. So what are the rentals going for? What range did you find of decent, comfortable rentals that you can get in Phuket?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an interesting thing because Phuket's quite a sizable island, so it depends on where you choose to live. We've chosen to live in the south of Phuket, which is quite popular with expats. So there's a big expat community.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, when we came during COVID, it was quite easy to find accommodation at a reasonable price. When we came back, of course, the world had opened up, and particularly there'd been a huge influx of Russians, and the rents had sort of skyrocketed. So yeah, we're in a really nice 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom pool villa with its own swimming pool. So
Okay.
I mean, it is really nice, and we are. I'll tell you in US dollars, we are paying about 1,600 US dollars per month
Okay.
for that. So it's not outrageous. I mean, that includes the water, the internet, the cleaning,
Hmm.
and the linen, including the changing of the linen and the cleaning of the linen. So yeah, but depending on your requirements, you could go and get so that is 60,000 baht per month if you're talking Thai baht. But you could go and live in a 2 bedroom apartment in a complex that had a shared swimming pool and maybe a little gym or something like that, probably from between 25 to 40,000 baht.
Okay.
So it depends what you're looking for. And then if you were willing to live in a Thai style house that was just a simple home with no swimming pool, you can get things as low as 18,000 baht.
Okay. And that's about the lowest, you think?
Yeah, I mean there are really basic like 1 bedroom you know
Yeah.
really basic things for say maybe 8,000 baht you can get down as low as, but that would probably be for more your single young people that are not going to be spending too much time at home.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's a wonderful thing actually about Thailand and even in Phuket. I mean, Phuket's probably the most expensive place in Thailand to live,
Yeah.
but you still can live cheap here if you wish.
Yeah.
It really just depends on what type of lifestyle you wish to have. And, if you're willing to live in a basic accommodation, you can still have an awesome life. Like if I was 20, I mean, I'd happily live in one of these 8,000 baht accommodations because you can still eat and drink like a king or queen,
Yeah.
and life is pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Well,
just
that,
you know what it's like when you get to sort of 50 plus. What you're willing to live in is a little bit different, and especially with
yes.
children.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it sounds like there's so many options over there that it's very accommodating for any traveler who wants to
Mm,
live in Phuket. It's a really accommodating area.
definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
and there's all the trappings of they have movie theaters and shopping malls and things like that if you want that, but
Mm.
you know normally we're eating in Thai style basic restaurants and with our feet in the sand and things like that. It's just the best of both worlds, in my opinion.
Hmm. So what do you pay? What are utilities? When you think of water, electric, even Wi-Fi, all that included, what do you pay per month for that?
Well, that is all included in the rent. The
Oh, it
the only
is. Okay.
the only thing that is not included is the electricity, and
Okay.
the electricity is quite well. I mean, it's comparable to home actually, which surprised us. But you are running like in our villa here, we're running quite a few air conditioners and things like that
Mhm.
because it's been really hot. It's
Sure.
been really really hot. So yeah, for power, we've been spending about 200 US dollars a month.
Okay.
but that is running a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom villa
Yeah.
with all air conditioners and a swimming pool. So yeah.
Mhm. Okay. And are the groceries are they rising in cost like they are here in the US, or are they pretty affordable per month there?
I mean, they have had inflation here too, but not to the same extent as we have in New Zealand and in the US, and they just don't seem to have suffered it in the same way.
Yeah.
Groceries are pretty cheap, but it depends because if you want foreign food, it's expensive.
Okay.
So with us traveling with a child, she wants quite a few things that we're used to eating at home, like cheese and
Yeah.
yogurt, things like that. Now those things are expensive here. But
Yeah.
if you're eating a fruit and vegetables are cheap, and bread and things like that is really cheap. So yeah, it really just depends on. I mean, we spend about less than $300 US a month on
Okay.
groceries because the majority of our eating is dining out because
Okay.
dining out so cheap. I
Yeah.
mean, we have a favorite restaurant here that we go to, and we get our meal, rice, and a drink each, and it costs it costs like $15 New Zealand, which I don't know, that'd be about $10 US.
Yeah.
And that's for the three of us to go out for a meal. So
Wow.
it's not even worth cooking in.
Yeah, and that's so the 300 is a combination of the groceries you purchase as well as the restaurant costs.
No, that's groceries on top of this. So dining out, we spend about 700 US dollars a month. So
Okay.
the combination of the two is probably about $1,000 a month, but that's for
Okay.
the three of us.
Okay.
And that's, yeah, dining out at least once a day, quite often twice a day.
Okay. Nice. So you guys are really exploring all of the culinary scene around there.
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, I just can't imagine going home and having to cook.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. How do you guys get around? Did you buy a car? You got a scooter or
We did buy a car and we have a scooter, but so we hire our scooter. Our scooter costs us 10,000 baht per 3 months.
okay.
So that's only like a few dollars a day. Um, my car, we were renting the car, but we decided because of the length of time that we're going to be here, we decided that it was just sensible to buy one. And my husband actually flew to Bangkok because you could get better deals up there, and he found a car and drove it back here. So yeah, we paid about 190,000 baht for like a secondhand Mazda 2.
Yeah.
And it's a great little car for around here.
How much
But
can you rent that for? Were they charging you to rent it?
about 14,000 baht per month.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're going to be here a couple of years or more, you soon sort of pay for that, and then you've still got the car to sell at the end.
Right.
So yeah, it just seemed sensible, really.
Okay. What are you doing for your family with healthcare?
We have insurance.
Okay.
Actually, as part of the visa, my
Oh,
husband have quite extensive policy, um, and my daughter and I didn't have to for the visa, but we chose to have. So we have insurance with a company called Pacific Cross, and that costs us about 2,800 New Zealand dollars per year for the three of us.
okay.
And we did opt to have quite a big like we'll pay the first like $1,000 of any cost because we really only have it in place for any big things. I mean, we can afford to pay for any small incidences along the way, but if someone needed surgery or needed to be in hospital for a few weeks, that's when it really gets expensive over here. So yeah, it's more for that kind of thing. But yeah, it's quite an extensive policy, covers
Hmm.
much everything.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And the have you had any issues with having to go to the doctor or?
Yeah, my husband, he had a basal cell carcinoma removed in New
Okay.
Zealand before he came over here, and so he wanted to go. He felt like it, his face was still a bit lumpy, so we got recommended to a skin doctor here and
Mhm.
at Bangkok Hospital in Phuket. And he went, and yeah, it was a really great experience.
Oh,
We've
good.
been to about 3 hospitals here actually, and they're amazing. The
Mhm.
hospitals here are amazing. The staff, the speed at which you get seen, the
Mhm.
staff are wonderful, and they're really attentive. The care is really good, and the hospitals are clean, beautiful, yeah, well maintained. I
Mhm.
feel more comfortable in the hospital here than I do in New Zealand, to be honest.
Wow. Wow. That's great.
I mean, they are private hospitals, so I guess, you know, perhaps it's not fair. I'm comparing our public hospitals to the private hospitals here, but yeah, there's certainly no problem with the care
Mhm.
that you get here.
Nice. Okay. And what do you when you guys when you do things for fun, like entertainment, what do you do for entertainment? What do you do and what is the like if you think of going out or going to a movie or participating in some kind of activities or events, what can people typically spend in a month to do those things?
Yes, well, let me just quickly refer to my spreadsheet because I do have pretty much everything covered on here.
Okay.
And yeah, we allow about 200 US dollars per month for fun
Okay.
activities.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, and I mean, we don't go to the movies very often. We actually went to the movies just the other night because we've just come into rainy season. So occasionally it's nice to have a rainy activity. And yeah, for the 3 of us to go to the movies, it cost about 25 New Zealand dollars. So yeah, I guess I
Okay.
did probably about 18 US dollars.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so actually cheaper than it is at home. Yeah, but for fun activities, I mean, there's so much to do here, and we actually went ATV and zip lining
Hmm.
last
Nice.
month. Um, we like there's paragliding on the beaches, jet skiing.
Oh.
We've been to the elephant sanctuaries. Um, Also, there's longboats just down the road from us that take you out to the islands. That's a really cheap, awesome, fun thing to do.
Hmm.
And yeah, things like that. Also, sometimes we just get in the car and take a drive off the island because the island is connected to the mainland by a bridge.
Hmm.
So it's only about an hour and a half away, and you can be in Khao Lak, and an hour or two after that, you can be in Krabi. Yeah, so there's just so many things to do. That's yeah, one of the things I love about Phuket is we definitely have a lot more family time doing fun things together. So yeah, yep, we definitely keep a budget for that every month.
Nice. And if you I'd be very interested in going to some and exploring some of the islands, jumping on a boat and doing that. How much does that cost to get on a boat where they can take you to these different islands where you can explore and um
Well, we go down to Rawai and just hop on one of the longboats. So the longboats are pretty rustic, you know, they're thin, skinny, open longboats.
yeah.
Um, with a little outboard sort of motor on them. But they basically, you rent the boat for about 1,500 baht, which
Mhm.
is about 70 New Zealand dollars. So I don't know, what's that, like 50 US dollars. And you, as many people as you can fit on it. So you can fit about 8 comfortably on a boat like that. So
Oh
that's
wow.
what it would cost for all 8 people to
Wow.
go um, out to like Coral Island and the nearby islands. If you want to go further afield to places like PP or Panga or places like that, I mean, it's more expensive, and it depends what type of tour you want. If you want a speedboat tour that's a bit more upmarket and comfortable, you'll get more into the probably, I don't know, $90
Gotcha.
mark. You might get some fruit and water and things like that as well for
What
that.
is, what is the name of the town where you guys go to get jump on the longboat?
Rawai. So
How-
that's Rawai.
Rawai. Okay. Yeah, do
And
me and just
that's the area.
send me like a message of the other islands that you mentioned so that I
Yeah,
can
sure.
I'll type those out so that the people can read them as well. Yeah, that sounds like a blast. And I mean, do you people probably just go out on those boats and just snorkel all day or dive? Can you dive from the boats as well?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't dive from the long boats, but
Okay.
they've got diving boats everywhere here. Like diving's huge here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of dive expeditions all the time. In fact, we had friends join us over here from Amsterdam when they we were here during COVID, and they went on like a 3 or 4 day diving excursion where you live on the boat. And yeah, there's lots of cool things, and there's snorkeling all around. um yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, right now we're in what they call monsoon season, so the way the winds come in and the tide comes in, the sea gets pretty rough
Hmm.
um between like May and October. So
Hmm.
it's not so ideal conditions for snorkeling and things like that on the west coast.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, you can take a drive off the island and go east coast, and it's totally different again.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So overall, for a family of three, what have you totaled as far as how much you spend per month? Yeah.
So between 5 and 6 thousand US dollars per month
Okay.
is what we are spending. Now, I would say that we live like we don't it's not an extravagant life, but it's not a frugal life
Yeah,
either. So somewhere in the middle, we do. I keep an eye on the budget and things like that, but we didn't come here to live less than we do at home.
sure.
So we wanted a better lifestyle. So uh, yeah. So that would be the mid range, I would
Okay.
say.
And on the
Yeah.
low end of it, for if you were Louise, if you were like solo, you're single, you're living in Thailand right now. I mean, how much do you think you could get away living there on Phuket per
If
month?
you if you were one person,
One person and you're like, yeah.
well, I think one person could probably live as low as maybe like 25,000 baht per month,
How much is that? You-
which well, I know in New Zealand dollars that would be about 1,000 to $1,200. So I don't
Okay.
know, it may be like 800 US dollars or something like that. As a single person, you probably could. Yeah, like
And
you can.
that would give them an experience on Phuket where they could go out to dinner and do some entertaining, and live in a comfortable um, one
That would
bedroom.
be that would be a very basic life. They would be living in a really basic accommodation for that. They would be eating Thai food all the time, um, and yeah, I mean, they probably wouldn't be huge alcohol drinkers for that.
Gotcha.
That maybe
Yeah.
a moderate drinker, willing to eat fried rice most of the time, that kind of thing. But
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I know a couple that live here, um, and they're doing it for significantly less than us, and are living a nice life, still being able to go out and play sport and things like that. So it really, it can meet all budgets, I think,
Yeah.
depending on I think accommodation is a big one. You know, you
Sure.
can
Yeah.
alter your budget a lot by you know, what you're prepared to pay for your accommodation. I mean, my husband and I often say, actually, if in the future, if we're traveling without our child, I think we could at least half our budget.
Yeah.
Tra Traveling with a child definitely adds to the expenses with education and what they're willing to eat and the activities they want to do, and you know, things like that. So yeah, if you were just a couple or a single person, that cuts that down a lot.
Yeah. Okay. And has there been any unique experiences that you've had since you've been there, like a special experience or something that surprised you that was just wow? Anything like that? That
I
you
mean, yeah, it's interesting because I honestly, I mean, I know this really sounds kind of a little bit fake, but uh, I have to pinch myself every day. Like our whole life as well, and I feel extremely grateful. Like we are really living the dream, and sometimes you have to remind yourself because it's just become sort of normal daily life now. But I mean, it's just an exceptional place, and yeah, I don't know, the fact that you can go down the road and jump on a long boat and go over to an island and drink fresh coconut, and go down and eat a fried rice, a beautiful chicken fried rice that's about $3, and I don't know, everything about the place is wow. I just think it's become our norm, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah, and you've just got to remind yourself that yeah, I mean, everything's fantastic. Yeah, you sort of caught me off guard there. I can't think of any massive standout moments, but
yeah.
just so many. Watch my YouTube for more.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So you have a YouTube channel too. What's the name of it?
It's Lulu and Jay, Lulu, and Jay.
And Jay.
Um,
Okay.
I think there's actually a couple of people called similar, but if you look out for the Thailand series, you'll Escape to Thailand.
Mhm.
That's us. And
Okay.
bit of an amateur, but learning all the time and getting better. So yeah, and that's a great record of everything we've sort of done since we've been here, and why we came.
Yeah, well, I subscribed, man. The one you sent me something and I thought it was spectacular. And footage. You guys did a great job. You got a great YouTube channel.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
My husband's a good drone pilot, so that
I
helps.
saw that. Yeah, I was really impressed. That's very cool. Well,
Yeah.
what kind of drone is he flying?
Uh, DJI Mini Pro.
Okay. Yeah, I got a DJI too. They're spectacular.
Oh,
They're
they're
so
amazing. I
they are
just can't
amazing.
believe it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's next level.
Yeah, it sure is. Well, Louise Henshaw, thanks so much for taking the time to share all this information and be on the podcast.
No worries. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, and I'll be in touch and let you know when we're put this up. But it's just a pleasure to meet you, and thanks again for doing this.
And I'll send you the island information.
Okay. All right. Take care.
Awesome. Thank you. See
All
you
right.
later.
Bye. Yeah. Thanks again,
Bye.
Louise. Yeah. Okay.